Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole Lano. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, everybody. I'm your host, Nicole Lano, and it's just you and me today. I want to talk about the process of working with human design in this episode. So I've been hosting something called the Authority Accelerator Masterclass. This was a 3-day masterclass that I taught last week on how to become an authority and how you can use human design to help you become an authority to yourself. And becoming an authority to yourself is essential to you being an authority to others, which we recently talked about. It taught you how to become an authority to yourself, use human design to step into specific energies in your chart that help you really expand your authority, hone into these specific pieces that help shape your business and help shape your messaging of your business. And then we took you into the strategic side of business building, which was the strategic side of messaging. So we did the energetic side and the strategic side. And I had a client come on in one of our bonus sessions to do a little interview to talk about what this process was like to work with human design for your business, because I do think that people have an idea of what it will look like and they have some preconceived notions, or they have some ideas where they're looking to get certain things out of it. Now, we think we want a result, right? You want the result, but a lot of times we have an idea about how that result will come. And I can tell you all I want, but what I brought my client on for was to have her talk about what the process was like. And I'm actually going to see if she wants to come on the show, which I will ask her if she wants to be a guest, where she can share her story with you guys too, because I think it's really valuable. But there were a few key things that came up in her interview and in the discussion that we had with some of the participants afterwards that I thought would be really helpful here. And one of them is that working with human design, and certainly working with human design in your business, is not a linear path. There is a process, but it doesn't go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's not that predictable. It's not that clear cut as far as which step is the next one. And honestly, that's why it's so powerful, is because it's so dependent on you to interpret what you're experiencing, for you to know what the gate means to you, or to understand how you're operating out of alignment with something. That every moment that you spend working with your design, you know yourself so well. You just get to know yourself so well. You get to see your gifts through the process kind of start to shine in a new way. You start to see your shadows and how they come up. And being aware of them starts to take a lot of their power away. And then if you're doing the deconditioning work and you're working with things, then you start to see those shadows show up less and less. Sometimes the shadows can become strengths. You start to see how you actually can use them, which is incredibly powerful. And then you start feeling more comfortable doing things that maybe you didn't feel comfortable doing before. I have people in my program right now who weren't sure about starting a podcast. They thought they might want to, but they didn't know. They joined the program just to see what this human design journey would look like. They wanted a lot of high touch support, so they joined my signature program. And now as they've gone through, they've unlocked themselves. They've gotten more comfortable. They feel more powerful. They see the process. And they've been working with it. Now it's like, I want the podcast. I'm ready to do this. And that comes from the growth that is happening with the inner work that we're doing. And human design gives you a really beautiful framework, but it's not a framework that goes step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And I think that's something that throws people off, can be disappointing to people at first, where it's like, just tell me what this thing means. And that was what my client was saying on the interview. And if you want to see the interview, just DM me, tell me that you want to see the interview, and we'll send you a little clip of it so you can see what she was talking about if you're interested. It's also inside our Facebook group, Human Design for Entrepreneurs, which is going to be up for another week. So you can check it out there if you're listening to this before the 7th of February. But she was like, I really just wanted the answer. And we did the readings, we go through all of this stuff. And I thought I would leave the reading knowing all that I needed to know. And once I knew it, that would be it. And then she realized that that's not nearly the end. And that can definitely become disappointing because it's like, how much longer is this going to take? Is this going to be harder? I don't know what to do next, which is honestly why it helps to have a coach, because then it's not your job to figure out what that next step is. It's not your responsibility. It's not on you. And you can just show up with the question that you have or the frustration that you have, which is what she was sharing. My client's name is Melissa. And she was sharing, she was like, I would come to Nicole and I would be frustrated. And I would say, I think I'm doing this already, or I feel like this is happening. And what would happen is, as she talked about what she was frustrated with, I hear the issue that she's missing. And I can point it out. And I ask better questions and send her back to do her inner work. And then that's when the light bulbs start going off. That's when suddenly dark rooms become bright. And that's when suddenly you realize you're activating different areas of yourself, and you are at the same time transmuting and transcending a shadow. Very powerful. It gives you your power back. And one of the things that she talked about was that her message was actually the same message that she had been saying, all the same words, all the same message for the most part that she had been saying before we met, for like years before. She said, I go through my Facebook memories every day and I see the things I posted even 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm still saying the same things. I say them differently, and I say them from a very different energy now. And she's like I own it now. And she's like, and I really thought I owned it back then, but I very clearly did not. It totally felt different. And now there's a level of excitement, there's a level of ownership, there is a level of confidence and permission to go all in energetically on this. So when we talk about the energetic game, you'll hear entrepreneurs, you will hear coaches, you will hear all sorts of people say, hey, you energetically hold back from the thing that you want. And it's usually unintentional. We're not energetically holding back because we want to, but we energetically hold back from going after the things that we want, sometimes because the truth is that we're scared. We're scared of the outcome, even if it sounds good. And sometimes we don't feel worthy of the thing that we're going after. So energetically, we're holding back because we don't feel worthy of the client that we are calling in. We don't feel worthy of the people that we want to connect with. We don't feel worthy of the prices that we are charging. And that's the shift that happens when suddenly you realize that you're doing all the right things, but you just needed to release, unlock, shift into, own. It could be any of them. Everyone's formula, everyone's recipe, as my friend Christina Luna says, everybody's recipe is different. Everyone has different ingredients in there and different processes they have to go through to get the perfect dish at the end. So the key is to really play with it. The key is to let every moment be kind of an unfolding of you. I talked to another client on a call this morning where she got done with our program and she renewed because she was like, I felt like I did all of this personal work, like I was unraveling, unfolding, and I didn't get to any of the strategic stuff. And that happens sometimes. She wasn't ready to take action. And she's like, and now I'm ready and I'm excited for this next period that we're going to take a lot of action in this next segment, in this next piece. When we stop putting pressure on ourselves to make it what we think it should be, when we stop putting pressure on the human design system to deliver what we think it should and allow it to deliver what we need, then it starts to work its magic on us. When we release and surrender to it and get very, very curious about it and hopefully play. And if you have the benefit of a coach or somebody who's guiding you, that is one of the things that I think I'm uniquely good at. I can hear someone's design talking. I can hear the gates. I can hear the lines. I can hear the motivation, the determination, the cognition, and I can tell you what needs to shift or change, or I can point it out to you. And this is how we get results very quickly. And this is how you end up with something at the end that is uniquely yours, because it's not just the process that I give people. I take you through a process so you could find your own, because I'm not interested in turning out clients out of my program who are clones of me or who need me always. I stay friends with many of them. I try to have very good relationships where I consider my clients family, where we stay in touch and we have really, really close connections because we've been through a lot together. But nothing makes me more proud than when someone walks away being so grounded in who they are that they can take steps on their own without me again. And that is the beauty of this. So you have to accept the fact that the process is going to be organic and it's going to be yours, but it can help for somebody to point out the things you can't see because you're too close to them, or translate the information that it might take you years to fully understand, let alone embody, and have somebody ask you the right questions that get you to the better answers that have you unlocking doors within yourself. It really felt called to pull this episode together because when you surrender to the fact that it's a non-linear path, really amazing things start to open up. That's when light bulbs start to go off. And so we do have doors open to my Business by Design mentorship. This is the newest iteration of my group coaching program. I've shifted it to a mentorship. And I do want to mention it here because if you listen to this show and you are an entrepreneur or you are looking to really deepen your connection to your unique human design, I do encourage you to check this out. I do encourage you to go to NicoleLaino.com/enroll and check out what we have there, because we've combined some private readings and private sessions along with group integration throughout the entire time together in the program. So you have both the benefit of all of that information that everybody's craving in the beginning, plus the necessary time and guidance to integrate and understand truly and embody the information and the energetic activations that are happening. So how do you grow into that best version of you according to your human design? That's really what this program is designed for. So I don't normally throw things like this at the end of an episode, but I do want to do it here just because I feel like it is something that is of value if you are on this journey of human design and you're trying to deepen it and you really want to connect with your design and have guidance while you do it. I do encourage you to check it out and DM me if you have questions. I'm happy to answer them for you. In the meantime, I'm going to let y'all go. Remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So thank you for letting us help you along on your journey of becoming unshakable with human design, everybody. We will see you next time. If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to NicoleLaino.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.